and so D'Eriq King will not be playing this week. Is it to the extent where if they were playing a quality opponent that he would be able to play?
Manny Diaz said yesterday, I believe it was, that King is very doubtful for this week with the shoulder. And you saw he left the field after hurting his shoulder last week. Looked like Tyler Van Dyke was like seconds away from coming onto the field. But the media timeout extended the commercial break. And that gave D'Eriq King the 37 seconds it took to run back out there, get the ball, throw it a couple of times. It's right in front of where I was sitting in the press box. Definitely some hitch in the giddy up. You could definitely tell on the warm-up throws that it was a throw, but it wasn't like a throw with conviction. And I knew that, he was going to try to be a gamer to go out there, and he was just going to have to gut it out. But like you could tell, even warming up, it was like, that doesn't look right. You know what I mean? I know that everybody has different body mechanics and everything, but you could just tell as he was throwing it, and I tweeted it, and I was talking to some other people sitting around me in the booth there, and you could clearly tell that that there was something up with the shoulder. And so yeah, I don't know, man. If we were playing, like, if this weekend was the Virginia game or the Carolina game or something, I don't know if he would play. It might be a game time decision. We might even trot him out there for a series and then maybe go from there. But it's definitely not just, it's Central Connecticut State, so let's sit him. Like, I'm not so sure that it's not like he really needs to sit out, which might be the case. But yeah, you saw that King left with the shoulder injury during the game last week, came in after that and everything, and gutted it out, obviously, to play all the plays. But I don't think that very doubtful. I'm expecting Van Dyke and Garcia to rotate next week or this weekend at the game. Manny Diaz said that he thinks that both will certainly play. I don't know how you can say I think certainly, but whatever. But yeah, I don't think the King is playing based from that. And then, I just don't, from what I saw, I just didn't, he's not right. And I know that he's, 90, 95% with the knee, but then the shoulder, that's the thing. And if you follow sports, right, even in baseball, right, with a pitcher or somebody who throws, even a fielder, right, if you have shoulder things, or if you have injuries to the throwing limb, right, elbows you can recover from. We're going to get Tommy John. We can do whatever. The elbows, I can blow it out 17 times and I can come back still throwing 97 with sink and cut. You start to mess around with the shoulder and you're done. And there's a long list of pitchers, of quarterbacks, of people who throw the ball, because throwing the ball overhanded is an unnatural motion. We all know that and everything. But yeah, elbows and wrists and fingers and whatever, forearm injuries you can come through. You start to mess with that shoulder as somebody who throws the ball, yikes. So especially that was the injury to King. I think it's good that he's sitting out, and we're going to see what kind of talent we have behind him. But yeah, I believe that he's going to sit out. Mike Williams on the screen says King may get a medical red shirt. Bro, a seventh-year senior at 25 years old next year. With what we have in the room and what's coming in, that would be a good mental exercise to see if I would even bring him back to start next year. But we can talk about that another time.
Based on what you saw in the spring game, based on what you know of the two through the scouting reports coming out of high school, how would you compare and contrast Van Dyke and Garcia?
Garcia is a little bit more mobile in the pocket. Both of them have real serious arm talent. Again, when you look at the first play of Tyler Van Dyke's high school highlights from his, I don't know if it's junior or senior, I forget which one it is, but the first one, he's pretty much flat-footed and flicks his wrist, and the ball goes like 73 yards in the air, or 68 or something like that. Literally, pretty flat-footed, not taking a crow hop or anything. Like, shifting his hips to, go through and everything, but not like, running up and stopping. And then he's pretty much there in the pocket and just, and the ball just flies. So there's that. Van Dyke is a bigger physical dude, 6'4", 230-ish. So he, he's a more imposing figure. can move a little bit. He's a maybe run if I have to kind of a thing. You're not going to count on him to be like Derek King, where part of the offense is, hey, you can step out of a sack and go get 20 if we need it. It's more Tyler Van Dyke would be, they're playing, man free. Everybody has their back turned to the quarterback, and I barely step up on third down. And now since everybody's back is turned, I can get 15. You know what I mean? Things like that. Van Dyke has been here for another season, obviously being the prior year recruit. So he should have a little bit better handle on the offense. I think that you saw that through fall camp for sure. Where, they both did numbers in the spring game, but that was very vanilla. But when you started, having the twos go against the ones, and those windows are closing very quickly, Van Dyke had a little bit more efficacy than Garcia, who's still maybe seeing a couple ghosts, or just, oh my God, I didn't like that's a throw that I can make, except for that was in high school. If you notice, like Trevor Lawrence threw a pick either week one or the last preseason game on an out route, right? And I'm sure that Trevor Lawrence, I heard a lot of people talking about it. He's like, hey, 247 Canes, we're going to get to your questions in a second. Awesome. But Trevor Lawrence threw an out route. And he's just like, the cornerback, like in college, I make that throw and there's no cornerback who gets there. In the league, Buddy gets there and picks it off. And he's like, what? And so if you take that down to the next level, that's Jay Garcia, where he's like, yo, I can make that throw and, take the ball out of the pocket, just ham it. Whoa. I was not expecting that safety or linebacker's never there, but you're at the next level up, but both guys have a real high ceiling for performance or potential, both have very, very good demonstrated histories of performance, recruiting pedigree, arm talent. Garcia is younger. He's the highest rated quarterback recruit that Miami's gotten in many moons. So the potential for him might be higher, even though he might be a step further away from realizing that potential than Tyler Van Dyke at the time, or at this time. If I had to put a wager on it, I think that Jake Garcia has the it factor a little bit more for being the guy. But that's my personal feeling on it. But both of those guys are going to have to go, be able to go out there and make plays.